Hi, welcome to Greek mythology. This is going to be an exploration of ancient Greek myths, geography, and culture. Since this is the first lesson of the unit, you have to deal with a table of contents to see where we're going to go. First, we're going to look at ancient geography. We're going to then look at the Olympian gods. Next, we'll look at mythology biography poems. And then we'll talk about the hero archetype, using Disney's Hercules as a jumping point for discussion. Then we'll look at a couple myths outside of ancient Greece. Specifically, we're going to read a Greek myth, a African myth, and a Native American myth, all dealing with how humans got fire. And finally, you are going to create your own myth and god that has powers, residents, strengths, weaknesses, and come into class and explain your god. Okay, here we go. Let there be earth, and there was, and it was flat. But note also how it's round. This is a distinct characteristic of the ancient Greek geography. Ancient Greeks were one of the only cultures to believe that the earth, while flat, was also round, like a paper plate. They also had a very egocentric view of the world. This meant those Greeks saw themselves smack dab center in the universe. Above them were the Hyperboreans. These people were a happy-go-lucky people who were said to always be in a constant state of vacation. This happy people were said to have lived to be thousands of years old. In fact, one story states that in order to die, the elders of the Hyperboreans had to hurl themselves into the ocean. Not a great time. To the south were the Ethiopians, said to be good friends to the gods. Such good friends, they say, that they used to throw parties for them. Parties that they would last forever. So if a god was said to be in Ethiopia in a story, it meant two things. One, they were very far away, and two, they were not returning anytime soon. To the west were the Elysian Fields. Notice how there's no arrow pointing on the map. It means that it's outside of what the Greeks saw as the known universe. It is the closest thing the ancient Greeks have to a heaven as we know it today. And to the east, well, we don't know. But notice the river Ocean. It runs clockwise around the edge of the world. It's not like the ocean we know, where it's a vast body of water connecting lands, but rather a literal river running around in a circle that just happens to be named ocean. Okay, one more body of water to go over, and that's the Mediterranean Sea. It literally means middle land. The ancient Greeks thought it split the earth in half. This map only has it going halfway through, but most other maps have it splitting the earth in a straight line, right down the middle. So how did this whole crazy mixed up world come into existence? Well, it gets kind of tricky, and you can look at family trees of the ancient Greek gods if you want, but one looks like this, which is kind of confusing, another looks like this, which makes it way too simple, another looks like this, which is color-coded, and another one you can't even see the whole thing. So are you confused yet? Here is what you need to know. First, there was nothing. This nothing was called chaos, and out of this chaos came Gaia and Eros. Forget chaos and Eros for right now. Focus on Gaia. Gaia, from her mind, created Uranus. No, not that Uranus. That Uranus. Together, mother and son had the Titans, the hundred-handed ones, and a bunch of other Greek monsters. Forget the monsters right now and focus on the Titans. There were two main Titans we need to learn about. That was Kronos and Rhea, brother and sister who get hitched and start having kids. That's where the gods come from. But Kronos hears in a prophecy that his kids will one day dethrone him and rule in his place. Not wanting to be destroyed, he eats all of his children after Rhea gives birth to him. This annoys Rhea to no end. So one day, after she just gave birth to Zeus, she hides him away, wraps a stone in a blanket, and gives it to Kronos, who eats it, slowing him down. Zeus grows up into a man and destroys his father, cuts open his stomach, and releases his brothers and sisters, the Greek gods. So what do we do with this information? Well, in class, we'll be writing a short essay comparing the ancient Greek view of the world and the modern contemporary view of the world. For some assistance, go to the next slide or wait until the video gets there. We will also be constructing a paper plate creation of the ancient Greek world. I want you to be able to include the egocentricism of Greece, the river ocean, the Elysian fields to the west, the Hyperboreans to the north, the Ethiopians to the south, and the Mediterranean Sea in the middle. Be sure you can include all of those 6 features, and we will do this in class the next time we meet. Have a great night, and keep working. So here's the extra help. This, if you're having trouble for the short essay, is some examples of ways you can start sentences. Number 1, I give you an example of a topic sentence. Make sure your topic sentence is telling us what we're going to talk about. In this one, it definitely tells us that we're going to be talking about things that are similar and things that are different between Greek view of the world and the contemporary view of the world. In the second one, I want you to list 2 ways that the views are similar. If you need to use these as examples, be my guest. Number 3, the same thing as number 2, but I want you to point out things that are different. Again, I give you 2 examples of way to start the essay part. Part 4 is the conclusion. In this conclusion, you'll notice that it's very similar to the topic sentence. That's because the topic sentence tells us what we will talk about, and the conclusion tells us what we have talked about. If you need to use these as starting points for your essay, be my guest, but I like to challenge you to come up with your own sentence starters. Thank you, and have a nice night.